All right, number 7, using the unit circle, find the exact values of the 6 trig functions at 330. Again, you can type these in your calculator. So start with the sine of 330. Type the sine of 330 in your calculator. You should get negative 0.5 or negative 1/2. Cosine of 330, you should get radical 3 over 2. The rest of these you'll have to do a little bit of work for. So cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. These are reciprocals. So that means cosecant is negative 2 over 1. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So that means it's just 2 over radical 3, which for full credit needs to be simplified. So get rid of the radical out of the denominator. You're going to get 2 radical 3 over 3. Again, this is something you can check in the calculator to check to make sure you get the right answer. You can take the secant of 330 in the calculator. You should give the decimal approximation of this fraction. If you need further help on how to check your answers, let me know. Tangent is sine over cosine, so it's negative 1/2 divided by radical 3 over 2. So to simplify that, you're going to multiply negative 1/2 times the reciprocal of 2 radical 3, which I believe we've already done this problem. Should end up getting negative radical 3 over 3. If you need to see the work, it was on the last problem on the previous video. And then cotangent's the reciprocal of tangent. So we're going to flip and then rationalize the denominator. Get rid of the radical on the bottom. Multiply bottom and top by radical 3. And we're going to get 3 radical 3 on the top. And then we're going to get a negative 3 on the bottom. The 3's will reduce. And we end up getting negative radical 3. Pause if you need to. All right, number 8. We did a few of these last class, but just some more practice. Some of these you can type just straight in the calculator, like sine of 315. Anything with sine and cosine, you should be able to type straight into the calculator. Sine of 315, you get negative 0.7, which is equivalent to that fraction. So that's the answer to 8A. B, you want to change 5 pi over 6 to degrees first. So we're going to multiply 5 pi over 6 times 180 over pi, convert that to degrees. That's 5 times 180 divided by 6. This converts to 150. So really, this is the cosine of 150 degrees, which is much easier. Or you could have put your calculator in radians mode and typed in the original problem. Either way, you should get this as an answer. Make sure you understand how we're getting negative radical 3 over 2. If you don't know those decimals, let me know. Tangent of negative 60. This one we cannot do in the calculator, but we can find the sine of negative 60 and divide it by the cosine of negative 60. So the sine of negative 60 is negative radical 3 over 2. That means the cosine of negative 60 is going to be positive 1/2. Cosine is positive in the 4th quadrant, which is where negative 60 lies. So we need to simplify this just a little bit. This is part C. So we're going to multiply negative radical 3 over 2 by its reciprocal. The 2's cancel. And you get negative radical 3 over 1, or just negative radical 3. Of course, this is the answer to letter C. All right, D, E, and F. Cosecant, secant, and cotangents. Cosecant is just the reciprocal of sine. So what we want to do is we want to convert this to degrees first. So multiply by 180 over pi. I believe this is negative 270. And we want to find the sine of negative 270. So type in the sine of negative 270 in your calculator. Now, this one's easy. The sine of negative 270 is positive 1, which means the cosecant of that same angle is just the reciprocal of 1. Well, the reciprocal of 1 is itself. So 1's your answer. Secant of 210. Secant's the reciprocal of cosine. So you're going to type in the cosine of 210 in your calculator, and you get negative radical 3 over 2. Secant of 210 is just the reciprocal of that. So we'll take the reciprocal and rationalize, get rid of the radical on the bottom. You could multiply bottom and top by negative radical 3. It would save you a step at the end. You don't have to, but eventually you will anyways. So we get 2 radical 3 over negative 3. In fact, there's nothing else that reduces in this problem, so that's your answer. I'll write it over here underneath letter E. All right, I'm going to erase, so if you need to copy that, pause it. And finally, cotangent. Cotangent's the reciprocal of tangents. So first, change that to degrees. This is the same thing as the tangent. 480 degrees. Tangent of 480 degrees is some decimal that is not helpful. So we're going to take the sine. We need to figure out the sine of 480.